Greetings, fellow Trekkies and Trekkers. Welcome back to another episode of Treknicity Live, that show where I talk about pretty much anything I want to talk about regarding Star Trek. And as you might know by now, if you've been watching these episodes, no topic on this show is taboo. I'm your host, Lars the Scenza, and I'm coming to you somewhere from the cosmos, or maybe Southern California, whichever. It's probably one and the same. Anyways, in this episode, we're going to talk about short treks. And that is the series of very short Star Trek Discovery episodes that have been announced and actually have started at this point. In fact, I waited to get this episode done and before I watched, after I watched the first episode called Runaway. So let's just get stuck right into it. For those of you who have not watched Star Trek Discovery, well, this might be a little unusual to you, or might be a little foreign, whatever. Those of you who have, you'll get it, and you'll probably really enjoy the story. In fact, actually, this short Trek episode that I watched today was actually a lot closer to the spirit of Star Trek that I have always loved. And that's tough for me because I really did not want to like Discovery. But they did it. They did a really good job of it, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So, anyways, for those of you who have not watched this short Trek episode, I'm going to give you an official warning now that we are about to take a trip to Spoiler Town. And with that being said, I'm going to talk about everything, basically how the episode is, what happens in it, and yeah, do with it what you like. Now, in this episode, this short Trek episode, it features basically Tilly, who is entering the command program, the command training program, and she's just kind of chilling out, hanging out. She's having a conversation with her mom. Her mom is kind of being down on her because she doesn't think that she's suitable for it, and she thinks that she's just not ready to take on that kind of responsibility. However, Tilly feels that she is not being fair to her, and the conversation ends with her being rather frustrated. The episode is about 15 minutes long, and it features, she goes into the mess hall, decides to get herself an espresso, and while she's sitting there, she hears something going on. Now, in the very beginning of the episode, there is a sequence where people in the shuttle bay are basically, the shift is ending. They're told to evacuate so they can do decontamination. And during that point, something opens one of the crates and something comes out. So we got back to the mess hall scene where Tilly is just sitting there drinking her espresso. It was kind of funny that the computer recommended that she not drink it because it's too much caffeine for her. But of course, can you imagine what that would be like if we were like, if you went to Starbucks and said, hey, can I have a venti espresso? I mean, which that's kind of crazy given the size of venti. But let's just say, give me a venti caramel macchiato with 2 extra shots of espresso. Ooh, holy cow. That's a lot of caffeine. Can you imagine them turning around and saying, oh, man, I don't know. That's a little bit too much for you. I don't think that's very wise. Well, it's basically what the computer does. It says, sorry, that's not a good idea. But she has it anyways. While she's sitting there drinking, basically some weird stuff starts happening. She senses that something's nearby. And that there's this... the thing is apparently injured, so she finds that there's blood on the floor. She kind of scares it. It takes off. It starts basically going nuts inside the mess hall and creates a huge, huge mess. So she sits there and she realizes that the thing is injured. She gets it to talk to her through using the Universal Translator Circuit intercommunicator. During this conversation, she finds out that this is a young girl who is basically run away from home. She gives her a story about things happening on her home planet that made her leave, and in the end, the story is basically that Tilly finds out that the girl she's the daughter of the king and queen of this planet, who is basically, they've been killed. So what happens is her her brother was king. I believe that he may be out of the picture as well. I hate to say I don't know. I did watch it, but for some reason that detail just escapes me just at this moment. However, it is revealed that she is to be crowned as queen, and her coronation is the next day. So Tilly basically gives her a shot back home using the transporter, and as a gift, the girl gives her a dilithium crystal, which is native to her planet. That being said, it was really good. I mean, look, I know that I try not to be too detail heavy because it can just kind of be overwhelming. Besides, if you really want all the details, watch the episode. Trust me, watch it. And what's cool is that they really captured the spirit of Star Trek in this one. You know, there was a lot of adventure. There was a lot of the mystery, a lot of the we're explorers type of deal, you know, and having to deal with foreign, or basically dealing with alien concepts and aliens in general, but at the same time trying to understand what's going on, which is really cool because, you know, we tend to forget that a lot in our daily lives. You know, we tend to think of others who aren't like us in ways that they're not good enough, or they're, you know, we don't want them around us, or they just want us to go away or just leave us alone. And the thing is that in some cases, you know, yeah, maybe it's warranted. In other cases, it's not. It's definitely not. And, you know, you just have to take a moment and hope that you can understand them. Which, again, in this episode, it really hit home with me that she didn't she got spooked because, of course, you know, something weird's going on. But she took the moment and seized the opportunity to learn, to put herself in a position where she had to act diplomatically and not just go on instinct because it's like, oh, God, this thing is scary, might hurt me or kill me. Well, so you know, the writers on this episode, on which I know one of them is Alex Kurtzman, and I've actually in the past have been pretty critical of his writing because I know that he was involved with writing the J.J. Abrams basically the Kelvin universe movies. He did a really good job. I mean, and I know that it was really one of those things where, you know, you just have to take a leap of faith with this series. It's great that they try to really show you that side of humanity that Gene Roddenberry had envisioned back in the 60s when he first created Star Trek. We're now back into that. You know, we are explorers. We're out here to find strength. You know, to seek out or to explore new strange new worlds and seek out new life and new civilizations, and to boldly go where nobody's gone before. Well, they did a great job in this episode, and I can't wait to the next one, which I believe it comes out in November, and it's called Calypso. There is a little teaser, part of the episode that comes at the end of Runaway. So if you get a chance, check it out, and you won't regret it. It's really good. It's just, again, 15 minutes of your time, and it gets your appetite wet again for some more Star Trek Discovery, which is due to season 2 is due to start and premiere in January of 2019. So, with that note, I'm going to leave you with this episode. I just wanted to just tell you what I thought about the Short Treks episode. I'll be back again live on Monday, the 8th of October, and we'll talk about more Star Trek. So in the meantime, folks, as always, do us a favor and rock out with your Spock out. See ya, folks. Have a good one.